Ladies and gentlemen, and all genders outside and in between, this world is a world of darkness, and there may be some subjects that are quite triggering.
As the four of you stand in the street, a small flickering light over the porch illuminates the front door of the house. You can see a small crack, a shadow slightly longer than you might expect that suggests the door is stuck slightly ajar. A grey jacket, covered in patches of varying cryptids, is draped over the small gate that leads onto the path up to the house. What do you do?
Bing Bing pushes past the gate and just walks forward.
I guess this
glances at the jacket, but doesn't touch it.
Is the jacket like a weird sign? Has anyone seen anything like this before? Is it supposed to indicate, is it some like territory marking?
I think that's the jacket from the kid in the video.
Why is it hanging okay?
That's Joshua's.
Is it?
Perhaps a threat.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's Joshua's jacket.
You're 100% sure?
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure.
Can we check it for blood or anything, or are we just proceeding on?
Get up. Have a look.
Bing Bing pushes open the front door, or tries to.
Okay. Bing Bing, as you push the door open, something clatters to the floor at your feet. You wanted to take a look at the jacket and see if you could see any blood or anything on it. You can see the scuffs of a well-worn and well-loved jacket, primarily. The color is faded in places. There are sort of small abrasions where the jacket's been rubbed against something, perhaps. The material at the elbow seems a little thin. The patches are hastily applied. And there's something else sort of slightly stuck in a couple of places. You see a couple of thorns embedded here and there, but nothing else. Small flecks of mud, but no blood.
Nothing in the pockets?
Nothing in the pockets.
Okay.
Bing Bing is stood in the doorway. She's pushed the door open and something has dropped to her feet. M is inspecting the jacket. CT, what are you doing?
I think I am pulling out some drugs and having a dirty snort in order to calm myself down before just preparing, just full on, just hold on, I'm not ready for this. Right, okay.
Can I hear this?
TT, are you trying to be subtle about this at all? Bing Bing is in the doorway, so it's a little way away.
And I mean, I don't, as far as I'm concerned, Bing Bing is not a priority right now.
Okay.
Getting a hit is a priority.
Okay.
And even though it's all in my head,
Bing Bing takes her clutch and throws it at CT to try to cut him off before he snorts. Just
you almost spill it everywhere.
You can keep it. I don't need it.
No one, you bloody clutch. It's probably full of fingers or something, you creepy old bag.
Not fingers, maybe bones. Do you see any bones in there? I've misplaced some.
with you?
Finn, what are you doing while CT and Bing Bing are bickering?
I'm staying back and kind of watching it. Is there anybody around? Do I see any, before I go in? Do I see anyone around?
Give me your wits and survival, please.
Oh.
As you scour the yard, you also think back over the short video that you saw and you begin to piece things together. You can see a sort of pushed path through the undergrowth at the side of the house. And the video showed somebody entering through a sliding patio door, so it doesn't take a lot of thinking to consider that Joshua didn't go through the front. What struck you as curious then is how his jacket ended up on the front gate. He certainly didn't put it there, and everything is telling you that something about this isn't right.
And I'll kind of try to get the CT and Bing Bing's attention too, but they're kind of doing their thing.
Yeah. What's up?
I think we've got to go through this way. I don't know if you can get their attention, but I'm gonna go check out this path down this way. If you want to come with me or if you want to go with them, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think anyone should go alone, so I'll come with you.
Okay. CT, Bing Bing, do you guys want to?
Will you grab my clutch, Finn? I've dropped it.
I got your goddamn clutch. Right, let's go. Where are we going? What's happening?
I think it's through this door. The double doors. I don't think we should be going through the front door. At least this is where we would have seen where Joshua went into.
But Joshua's jacket's right here.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. And clearly he didn't put the jacket down. Would he have left it? No, right?
Just not ready. God damn. Okay. Right. Let me think. Does anyone know what kind of vampires have green eyes? Is it a vampire?
Looking at the youngest vampire here, I don't...
Shit. Is there a way that I can roll occult to try and remember anything that I've randomly come across in my drug-fueled life or unlife about creatures with green eyes?
Yeah, give me your resolve and occult. Or no, give me intelligence.
Can I help him with my occult roll?
Yeah, you can do. Whoever has the largest pool.
I got 6.
Yeah, I have 2 only for occult. And what was the other one? Resolve?
Resolve.
I would have 5 total, so I can give you a dot.
Mm-hmm. So we'll have CT roll it.
0. Zip zilch.
Green eyes. That sounds familiar.
I mean, the blog was just itching in my brain, you know?
There's so much information there.
I mean, it's just locked away because of all the drugs.
Imagine.
Look. I've seen some shit.
Imagine what you would be like on a clear mind.
Imagine what you'd be like with a sense of humor.
Darkness there. Devastating.
CT,
Right, okay, hold on.
the basics of this are apparent to you, but some of the exact details are difficult to pin down. Only knowing glowing green eyes is hard to narrow. But you are aware that certain kindred are able to adjust their form very slightly into something more bestial than is normal. It's most popular with the gangrel, but it's certainly not limited to them.
I mean, kind of like what was it? Protean? And it's that's a gangrel thing. Don't Oh God, no. Ah, friends, like, the only other people that spring to mind that might have protein. It's a gangrel. Potentially, if this is like a leftover gargoyle from way back in yon day.
Do the gargoyles drain blood like that?
Yeah, they're kind of just like vampires, but big and statuey.
So instead of the diablerie, maybe a failed experiment running around.
Bing, bing, the item that dropped to your feet, are you attempting to recover and inspect it?
Yes. Can I see it first and decide what is it?
Yeah, you can see it perfectly fine from where you are. It's a student ID card.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna pick that up.
It's Joshua's ID. And given that you had to push the door open to release it, you know that it was helpfully left wedged to stop the lock closing.
The only other possibility. Yeah?
I think we should listen to Finn and perhaps take the back route. They're expecting us this way.
Who's
expecting us?
Like, right, before we go in, look, we just need to be a bit prepared, and I want to give you all some information, okay? Knowledge is power and all that shite. So, the only other people, you've got the gangrel, you've got the gargoyles, which it could be, I mean, we've already talked about gargoyles already, and the last clan are the Zamitsi. Zamitsi are flesh molders. They sculpt skin and bone and the meat of people like you would like mold clay. They were quite a prevalent Sabbat presence, and therefore diablerie wouldn't be beyond their realm of expertise. So when we go in there, be prepared. You're gonna see some shit you're gonna remember for a long time if it is a Zamitsi.
Do you then proceed down the side towards the back of the house?
Yes. With heightened senses.
With heightened senses. The way around to the back is overgrown and dense. You sort of have to push bushes aside here and there, which thankfully is little more than an irritation to you as kindred, being a little hardier than most. You see a paradise of concrete slabs and garden furniture, most mismatched. Some of the chairs have missing legs or are otherwise broken and left unprotected from harsh winds. The stones seem eroded from neglect. And at the rear of the building is a sliding glass door, cracked, but not shattered. You see a chain hanging from the inside with a padlock attached, but unlocked.
Looks like this is the path.
Who's
Guys ready?
expecting us? I'm just very confused.
Look, I'm gonna.
Whomsoever has planted this, and
I'm gonna-
Bing Bing gives the ID to CT.
We can't. Okay. CT, are
And
you
she
okay?
takes back her clutch.
Okay. So, this is Joshua's ID. This is Joshua's jacket. Which means Joshua is potentially in the
Could have
arms
just taken it.
of a Zamitsi. Okay. Calm. Oh, okay.
Would you like us to proceed first, CT? While
No, because I need to see this. Okay. Let's do this. You said that we can't do powers simultaneously, can we?
You can't use Aura and Daunt simultaneously, specifically.
Could I use
'cause that's-
heightened senses and sense the unseen simultaneously?
I'm not certain that you couldn't per se, except for the fact that sense the unseen is a specific focus. So I think if you wanted to say that your heightened senses was your sight, then potentially. What are you trying to do?
Be prepared for the shit that's about to hit the fan?
Sense the Unseen you can keep active, so you don't need to do anything with that per se. What I will do is keep in mind if you would like to keep it active. I'll keep it in mind as we go inside.
Yes, I would like to keep Sense the Unseen active.
Okay. Otherwise, you're headed towards the doors, CT?
Yeah.
Bing Bing, are you following with him?
I'd like to do awareness instincts. Potentially. Probably combination of wits.
Yep, wits awareness. For
See if I can hear, feel.
Okay. Finn, are you proceeding to the door with CT?
Yeah.
Okay.
You sure you want to go in
one
first?
hunger?
TP?
No, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Okay.
You're
Right
at
here.
no hunger, Bing Bing.
I turned to M, by the way, I like your new dress. Where did you get that?
There are many things you don't know about me. You don't
Probably
think I would
kept it
just
in
have a
clutch.
spare dress on hand? Yeah, let's say that. Exactly. There's a lot of things in there.
As
Yeah.
you all
Like, don't-
approach the door, CT and Bing Bing, peering into the darkness as you are, you see the state of the room on the other side. It's a small kitchen. You can see a full survey of the rampant course that nature has wrought on a paradise of things inside. The room is not well cared for. It's completely bare. An open laminate wooden floor that peels at the corners, and you can see a single wicker basket. Some gone-off food. The kitchen itself is a husk. The appliances have been torn out. No wires are visible. And the empty spaces just show piping poking from the brickwork behind. Do you enter?
Yeah. Can I use my grave rituals to sense if there's any traps? Any hoodoo voodoo?
It would be an occult roll. What I will say, however, at the moment is that with CT having his Sense the Unseen up, you already have somebody who's likely to see that sort of thing. So it might be best to not roll just yet.
Okay.
Can I do anything with premonition?
You can.
Okay.
If you would like to force a vision, you can do your rouse check and then your resolve and auspex.
Okay. Rouse check just V1.
Mm-hmm. You're hungrier.
Okay. And then resolve and auspex.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. It was supposed to be with a 2 hunger. There we
Okay.
go.
Still 2 successes.
Yeah.
You close your eyes and focus for a moment, as CT and Bing Bing begin to slide the door open. And the wave of scent that comes out is what kind of catches your attention first. It's a kind of musty, dusty, damp smell. But there's something else underneath that. And for a moment, it's as if you throw your consciousness forward through the door, ahead of everyone else. And your mind, whirling through the air, zeroes in on one detail. There is a pool of some kind of liquid underneath a doorway under the stairs. The smell of it is potent. It's the completely recognizable smell of petrol. And beyond that, there's a soft, light scratching sound. But before you can follow the noise or follow the trail, your mind snaps back and you open your eyes to find yourself by the kitchen.
Well, there's something in there.
Where?
What did you see?
The ice, there was a puddle of petrol, was it?
Well, putting that cigarette out.
And there's there's this scratching noise.
Like a matchstick
I
being struck?
I don't know.
Where's
Like
this
an animal?
petrol?
I don't know. On the floor in the next
From where you're stood, you can see there's only one door out of this room.
through that door. Right there. But
Is that
nothing else that I
scratching?
could sense.
If that scratching was Joshua, I gotta go find out.
We should
wait,
take
TT.
caution if there's petrol.
Let me go first. If
We are
something
very,
is
very
happening,
flammable.
That's true.
I can get out of here way faster than you can. Let me open the door. So I'm gonna cautiously open the door, ready.
Does the sink
back if
work?
I need
Is
to.
there water? I don't.
Okay, Finn is going over to the door to open it. Let's stay with Finn for a moment. Finn, as you push open the door, the first thing you notice is a rude interruption. There are scrape marks in the dust and smashed glass and plastic shards on the ground. The walls of the room are lined in a dull green wallpaper, peeling and flecked with something dark in the corners, and spiders have made their homes in the corners of the room. The shelf on the wall has a medal in a glass frame, and a large dining table occupies most of the room, with 3 spindly legs holding it up, betrayed by their fallen fourth, so that the table is sloping towards you at the door. One dining chair stands at the head, but the rest are mysteriously absent. In the corner of the room, there is a large vase sitting on the floor, a damp stain around it seeping into the carpet, and on the wall, there is a large painting of a man walking through fire.
Do I see where the puddle of petrol is?
You don't see a puddle of petrol. You see
Do I smell
another
it?
doorway.
Okay, well, whatever it is, it's not in this room.
Okay, I'm following you up, Finn.
What is that container? Why is it leaking?
I don't know. Let's go take a look.
The damp mark underneath the floor, as you get closer, it appears apparent that it is old damp. What looks like a shadow from a distance is in fact a kind of mold that is slowly growing in the woodwork underneath it.
That's been there for a while. The painting with the man that's on fire. Can I take a look at that and see if there's anything that resembles anything that,
you're the
like the house or
Does the
anything?
man look like anything?
Em is naturally drawn to the painting as well. Art is her forte, so she goes up with Finn.
Okay. Give me
recognize it?
please what you see. Let's have a look. Can I get from you? You're looking for content of the painting, or are you looking for something specific about the frame or the workmanship, or what are you looking for here?
I'm actually asking M.
Maybe the condition. Is this painting new, given the state of the rest of this house, the mold? Is this a new painting? Was this put here recently? Is this a sign? There was a painting last night, right? It's
Okay.
and yeah.
Okay. Give me please your wits and craft.
Ooh.
Wow. A 5 success crit. The first thing that's apparent to you as you look at this painting is the emotion. The man walking through the fire is very clearly in pain. But the pain is a sort of determination. His eyes are locked with the viewer. It's as if he's staring at you, and despite the pain, determined to keep moving. There's a threat to it. It definitely feels to you like there is a specific audience in mind for this painting.
kind of feels like a metaphor or something for what we're going through now. I explained the painting to Finn, and looks like this man is coming towards us.
Well, let's look at what the man's looking at. And I turn round to the opposite wall.
The opposite wall holds the doorway.
It's like someone was expecting us.
I'm gonna pick it up and kind of look at the back, see if there's anything in the back.
Be careful. Be careful.
Why? Okay. Expensive?
It's art. We must respect it.
Respecting it.
The back of the painting doesn't seem to hold anything. Curiosity to M, as you turn this painting over and inspect it, Finn, is that it doesn't seem to be dated or signed, which suggests that the artist's signature is potentially under the frame. But of course, you have some pressing issues to attend to.
Yeah. Put it back on there.
Was there anything behind the painting on the wall?
Only the fading, where the sunlight has affected the wallpaper everywhere else.
Make a note of that.
Looking at this here door, so I'll have a look through it. God,
Okay.
I really want to call out for Joshua, but I feel like that's going to be a real bad idea.
Bing Bing is standing outside the door because she didn't walk into the room.
Okay. CT, as you push the doorway open, you see a long wooden floored hallway leading to a further two closed doors, one opposite from you and another a little to your left, an understairs cupboard and the stairways going up across in front of you. The ground is littered with dust and more crushed glass. The atmosphere's close, musty, and silent. There's one other thing that occurs to you. With Sense the Unseen up, you see the distinct sparkling lines of a ward across the welcome mat by the front door.
Well, it's lucky we didn't go that way. Do I recognize the ward?
Not working with them yourself, no. You know that it could be against a few different specific
recognize
people.
the ward?
Well, Bing Bing, you said, is currently still stood in the doorway of the kitchen diner. So is she coming through to join CT in the hallway?
Now that she's seen nobody has been attacked, yes.
Okay.
Hey, Bing Bing, I see this ward. It's on the doorway, the main doorway, right? Okay, there are a few symbols.
Good thing we didn't go through that way.
Well, yeah, but remember what the note said about how you ward certain things in order to mask them as other things.
What do you think they're masking them as?
Well, I think they're masking the entire house. Well, stuff in this house is valuable, and they're masking the doors. Why wouldn't you ward the back door and only ward the front door? And
They
also
could have
hide
trapped something horrendous in here that could have left so that when we walked in, they can't leave and neither can we.
Yes.
Bing Bing, you would need to get closer to inspect the ward, but you know at least that being able to identify it would depend on if the ingredients have been left in situ. As you glance down the hallway, you see nothing. It appears that the caster left the ward in place and then wiped away the residue. CT's only able to see it because of his senses.
There's no
Can I
puddle.
presume that, can I make a guess at the ward based on the items that we had, the gangrel blood and the silver powder?
You know that wards can be specifically for a few different purposes. You know that wards could be against ghouls, that is, mortals who imbibe on kindred vitae to maintain power and a connection with their masters. You know that there are wards against spirits to keep wraiths in place or otherwise damage them. And you know that there are wards against Canaanites, other kindred. There are other more specific wards for specific targets, but the list goes on somewhat, and without knowing exactly what ingredients were used, it would be hard to identify exactly what this ward was for.
But it was only in the front door. There wasn't anything in the back door.
Nothing
All the
on the back
windows.
door.
Or the windows. Or the walls.
Is there a puddle in this hallway?
The doorway opposite you, as you look across and down, is the unmistakable small pool of liquid creeping under the wood of the door.
Do we hear a scratching?
Human liquid?
Not human liquid.
Petroleum liquid.
You do also hear a faint scratching sound, but it is not coming from the door.
That's
Sounds
the
like
sound
it's-
that I was talking about.
Where's it
Where's it coming from?
It sounds like it's coming from above you.
That's unsettling.
I would like to try and scale the stairs, but using the outside of the banister instead of the steps.
Okay.
Oh, did you just... Okay.
CT is going to try and climb the stairs from the outside. That's fine.
It's
Are you
not a
doing anything
ladder.
specific at this point?
Don't trust them
Am
stairs.
Am I doing anything specific? I think I'm still thinking about the painting, and oddly enough, the 4 potted plants outside.
Okay.
I'm very fixated on those for some reason. They're not leaving my mind.
Okay. Finn, how about you? You see CT moving over towards the banister and beginning to scale the side of the stairs. What are you doing?
M is behind, right? Hey, you good?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm good. You good?
Yeah, CT's just climbing, and Bing Bing's up in front. I'm gonna check the petrol and just make sure there's nothing that could blow us up at any moment. So I'm gonna go to
Careful
that door.
opening that door.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to open it slowly.
Okay.
And if I feel a tug on it, I'd like to stop.
Okay. So CT, you begin to scale the side of the stairs. M is watching, thinking, considering what she knows. Bing Bing is supervising.
Yes.
Okay. Finn, as you tug on the handle of this understair door, it gives you a lot of resistance. The door is locked, but at least you see that the door is newer and better cared for than the other doors that you've seen so far. It's varnished to a high shine, and the doorknob is a sort of polished brass with fine engraving around it.
Can I turn it with a little more strength to...
Every time you turn, it sort of just seems to stop dead. It doesn't move.
Is it
I
locked?
wonder if it's locked, yeah, but I wonder if there's another way in, or
What if you punch a hole through the wall?
I could pull it, but that's not
Couldn't
really
possibly
opening
set
this
a trap
safely.
on the wall, right?
CT, let's check in with you for a moment. So the three are talking outside this door downstairs, and you are climbing the side of the stairs to get up. They creak very slightly. The age of the banisters means they sort of settle as you pull on them into their joints. And the paint on the wood flakes away as you grip onto it. There's a sort of powdery residue left on your fingertips from your attempts. But you are able to take a look at the upstairs hallway.
Sometimes I forget we're vampires, and then we see this.
How do you forget?
See 4 open doors. Sorry, no, not for open at all. 4 doors. But something else. At the moment you look at it, you consider that it could be light. It's a sort of pale glimmer in one of the doorways that makes it appear as if the door is open. But as your eyes focus, you realize that you are looking at the source of the scratching noise. A sort of misty apparition stood by one of the doors. He has his back to you. He doesn't seem to notice you. He is clawing at the doorway. As his fingers touch the door, he lets out a silent, anguished scream. And pulling his hand back and turning to the side, you see as if his fingertips seem to dissolve and fade, drifting upwards in small pillars of smoke. He recoils. His chest heaves with airless breath that you can't hear, and he stares at his own hand as the fingers begin to come back into form. He takes a moment. He looks back at the door, and then he tries again.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang.
Yes? What?
We got one of your dead friends up here.
My dead friends.
Why
Bing
you
Bing
like the
starts
dead?
walking up the stairs the normal way. What? What are we... What is that?
I don't know. Don't know whether you can see it as well, but I've got an issue with that thing. Is this one of the wraithy ones that's gonna fuck us up, or is this like just a specter that's gonna be okay with us trying to work around it?
I think that this might be closer to home than you think.
Bing Bing, you get to the top of the stairs, so you don't see anything. You see the 4 doorways, but you certainly don't see a spirit. CT is gesturing, but you can't see what he's talking about. CT, do you follow Bing Bing to the landing to get a better look?
Yeah, I climb over the banister. Now that I know that the stairs are safe because she survived. So there's a guy just here. Oh, it certainly seems to be a guy from where the angle I'm at, and keeps clawing at the door, and then the fingers melt away, and then they grow back again, starts clawing again. Don't know how long they've been doing this.
Not one of mine.
I know he's not one of yours, but you do the whole spooky dooky dead thing.
It's not one of those either.
Oh, good. Right,
I can't see anything.
hello?
CT, as you get closer and look around at him, you see behind on the doorway that he is scratching on the shimmering lines of a ward. And you realize that as his fingers reach and touch the doorway and he scrapes them down, it's as his fingers cross one of the lines that they begin to dissolve.
Ah, shit.
A ward.
There's a wall. They've got a wall on the door, and it's clawing at the door, and that's what's dissolving the fingers.
I feel that whatever you're seeing wants to return to whatever is on that side of the door, but cannot because of a ward.
Yes, well done.
Let's check back in with Finn and Em downstairs. You can hear the conversation that's happening upstairs, guys. And Finn, I believe you wanted to try tugging at the door.
Is there, from what I know of the house and how we've walked around it, is there possibly another way into this door before I power through this door?
It looks to be a cellar door, so it's unlikely. And on investigation, the single lock at the door level is matched by a second lock slightly further up. It tells you that the door would be exceptionally difficult to break down because there's not the same leverage that you can get.
I'd like to look around for a key, maybe hanging somewhere.
Okay. You don't see anything in the hallway, but there is a couple of other doors that you haven't looked past yet. One of them is to your right, and another is over your left shoulder, just next to the door you came through.
I say we let them deal with all the spirity stuff and keep looking down here.
Sure, yeah. Is there no other way into that? Is there a window from
Maybe
ruled out
we can-
going outside, I guess, or?
Well, I mean, it's possible, but
There was
I think-
there was a crack in the window outside, wasn't there? It was. Maybe
There was a
we could
crack
try
in the
to
back doorway, if that's what you were thinking of.
in the back doorway. Okay.
Should we try one of the other doors and see if we can?
Sure.
Do I hear anything on the other side of any of the other two doors? Two doors.
Nothing. Silence.
Okay.
Right? All right. I'll go to try to open the right one.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one is also locked. But only a single lock. And looking down at the handle, you see that sort of little indentation that suggests a bathroom door.
Getting kind of annoyed at all these locked doors. Shoulder.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. What is Finn's strength?
4, baby.
4. That door goes splintering down.
Okay, whoops.
As the door sort of crashes out of your way, you glance around and see somewhat of an unsatisfactory reward in the form of a small ceramic shrine to a family that no longer seems to exist. The space is almost like a closet. There's a couple of faded photographs of a couple of nondescript families, and it seems to have just been locked out of some kind of habit. You can see buckets, a hoover, several rolls of moth-infested carpet, and some plastic tubs of screws, wires, and other sort of loose tools. But nothing too notable.
What kind of tools are we talking about?
Sort of like a screwdriver, small hammer.
I don't think there's anything in here.
Okay, well, I'm gonna grab the screwdriver and hammer, and maybe we could open that other door with it.
That's a fantastic idea. Sure, after you.
Are there drawers anywhere in there? Is there anything?
Not through the bathroom. You'd have to go back out into the hallway, and then the only other door off the hallway is the one that was over your shoulder.
Oh, sorry, drawers, like in the bathroom
drawers,
sink
I'm
or
sorry.
something.
No, there's sort of like a small bathroom cabinet sort of thing that's built underneath the sink. But it's sort of, when you open it, it's where sort of a couple of these plastic tubs of screws are. It doesn't seem like there's anything major kept around.
Cool. Let's try this. And
Em sneaks a peek at herself in the mirror before she leaves. Just
Quite right.
fine. And then follows Finn out.
Okay. And you want to try and take these tools to the stair cupboard, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
the door
Is that
that's
the one
locked,
with
I'd like
the
to-
with the gas
puddle.
underneath? The puddle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
correct.
I'm assuming whatever you smelled is that, and we'll see what's on the other
Yep.
side.
Yep.
I just don't want anything that could possibly blow us up. So I'm
That
gonna
makes
stick the screwdriver in the wedge in there and just kind of hammer it through so I can open it up.
Okay. Let's take a moment then to check in with Finn and, not Finn, you are Finn, with CT
I am
and Bing Bing upstairs. So you two have been confronted with this spirit who's trying to get through this warded door. What do you do?
Hello?
Can I do anything to unward? Or
You
my
know,
cult
I mean,
rituals
both of
do
you
anything?
would be aware from sort of your own ritual knowledge of the cult that wards are essentially like tripwire traps. They go off, and that's that. And only the destruction of the item they're on by the caster can undo a ward. But you also know that wards, as I said previously, are for specific purpose. If the ward is blocking the spirit, it will not block you.
I say we walk through this door. Maybe whatever you're seeing can see. We can see what they're looking for.
Maybe we should ask them what they're looking for.
Can they hear you?
I don't know. Find out. Excuse me.
The man clawing at the door has just retracted his hand and is staring at it as your shout sort of catches him by surprise. It's almost as if he jolts. And looking at you, he seems confused. He looks up and down and waves one hand.
Hey, bub.
The fact that you can definitely see him seems to take him by surprise. He stumbles back a step and then recovers himself, stepping close towards you, and you get a real good look at his face as he steps in. A sort of slight, unkempt, but obviously previously combed black hair that had been pushed back over his head. Stray hairs stick out here and there, and his eyes are wide, frantic. They're a deep color. And he attempts to grab the front of your shirt, but obviously trips straight through. And in his frustration, he turns back to the door and hammers on it a couple of times.
Can you not speak?
He stares at you.
I'm gonna go with no, or you just don't understand what I'm saying. I tell you what, we're gonna go in the room. If you can to do charades for me, what is it you're looking for? Maybe we can help each other out.
He nods.
Sounds good. What am I looking for? A book. A magazine. A porno. No?
Journal? A journal? Maybe a journal?
A leaflet.
Ritual book?
He turns and frantically just points through the door.
A door. You want the door?
Book?
I tell you what.
Could be a diary? Or...
Could be a diary. Could be a pamphlet. Could be a card. Something that open a box, maybe. Box opens. A box. It was a box. It was a box. Okay, a box.
Oh,
fantastic.
Oh, box.
There's stuff that's in the box. It's
box?
Something that's in the box. Great. Fantastic.
Something precious?
All we're expecting now is a movie and a film and a book. It's yours. It belonged to you. It's very precious to you, and it's a something in a box. A piece of jewelry. A
body part?
A body part? You went for a body part? That's what. Oh my lordy. Is it a small trinket of some description? A toy?
Family heirloom?
You can see him growing with frustration and anguish. He turns back to the door again, and this time gives it a solid, if he were corporeal, kick towards the base of it, and curses as the tips of his boots begin to fade.
Right, okay, stop injuring yourself. Dear Lord, do you even feel pain? Doesn't matter.
I can be injured.
We'll find the thing. If we can find a box of some description, we'll see if we can bring it out and give it to you, all right? Then
ask it if it's magic.
Is it magic? No.
He turns and continues to hammer on the door.
Is
One
it
last
lie?
question.
Was it a lie?
One last question before we go in there. Is there anybody else in the house?
It's almost as if he doesn't hear you. He continues a frantic hammering on the door, and the side of his arms begin to dissolve for a moment. He steps back and tries to recover himself.
Bing Bing's gonna open the door.
You see a small bedroom.
But she's gonna like swing it open and then step back, like.
Okay. It appears to once have been the room of a young child. There are drawings on the wall that offer insight into some kind of aspiring sportsman. There are footballs flying across fields, the occasional rugby post. There's a dashing of red crayon in a lot of them, highlighting important elements. They document a life more on the sidelines, though, watching the event, but never taking part. There are toys, plastic ignored and thrown all over the floor. The bed is unmade, the bedding covered in dinosaurs, but faded. And a blackboard in the corner of the room has one word written on it in perfect cursive. Welcome. On a bedside table, you see a small wooden box.
Well, there's the box, but CT, if you can see the blackboard, I don't like that welcome.
No, neither do I.
I don't want to go in this room, but I want that box.
Thanks. You basically just volunteered me. I understand. Okay. Oh. I tell you what.
You'll be fine. I'll be right here.
Yeah, to pick up my pieces. I get it.
I can fold you right into my clutch if need be.
I I am gonna stand directly like where the ward is in front of the ghost thing and be like, I need you to find the boy who this, like, and show him the little student ID. I need you to find this guy and I'll get your stupid fucking box, okay?
He doesn't respond and is just staring at the box.
Damn it, you ghosties can do fuck all. Okay. All right, here we go. No other wards or anything in this room?
Nothing.
Just move the box slightly to the side. Okay, let's have a look what's in here.
As you open the box, you're confronted with a single item.
Is it a body part?
You see a passport. Indonesian.
Oh, fuck.
What is it? Bones? Blood? An eyeball?
We're gonna need Finn up here.
Why? What is it?
I just turn round with the passport and just show her it.
Finn?
Finn,
Open
you-
it.
Yeah, doing something. What? What are they yelling?
You
at us?
are mid sort of slamming the screwdriver against the side of this door frame as you hear Bing Bing calling your name, Finn.
I thought we were trying to be quiet. I guess not.
I don't think Bing Bing knows quiet.
All right, I guess the door will wait. Well, is she like still continuously to say my name?
Can we just? I feel like we're close to just break the door down.
All right.
Finn,
Oh,
right
God.
now.
One
Not
second.
later. Not later. When you see what I want to show you, you'll be angry you didn't 1 second now.
She's not naked.
Why would I have? How dare you?
Finn,
Thanks for the reassurance, CT.
do you try this one more time before you head upstairs?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me, please, your dexterity and melee. The screwdriver, although it takes a large chunk out of the door frame, seems to do more damage to the frame than it does the lock. Unsuccessful.
All right, looks like we're gonna have to find a key. Let's see if they found a key.
Sure, yeah, we gave it a try.
I did. All right.
You did the
Let's
best.
go.
You did the best you could. I tap him on the back. We go upstairs together.
As you make your way up the stairs, you see very similar to what CT and Bing Bing saw when they first went onto the landing. You see these 4 doorways. You see that one of them has been opened wide and Bing Bing is peering through it. And you see CT holding up something small towards
When you have as old a vampire as me in a rush, know that I do not rush.
No, patience is a virtue, but still, I don't want to step over this thing because of the ghosty out the side there, and
You have to go into the room, Finn. We don't
Yeah,
want
just-
him to touch whatever that is.
Come and have a look at this before we give it back to the
Okay.
ghosty.
We can all see this.
You guys
Figure?
can't.
I've seen a couple of these in my time, but it's been a long time,
There's
and
a
I
thing
know.
on the outside, and we want the other thing on the inside.
Cool. I'm like trying to step over nothing. I have no idea where it's at. So-
Let's go through him.
As you get closer, Finn, you see that what CT is holding is an Indonesian passport.
Why? Who's this? What?
Ah,
Open it up and kind of flip through it, and who am I seeing?
You see the identification of a man named Jeremy Reza. There are some papers folded and tucked in towards some of the back pages as well that showed he migrated over to England in 1989. Still has his right to work visa included there. And there's another small key. CT, looking over Finn's shoulder as he opens up this passport, the first thing you notice is that the picture of the man in this passport does not match the face of the man stood in the doorway. The man in the picture is scrawny, blonde.
Oh, okay. This is going to be an interesting one. At least we found a key.
Yeah, but what does it go to? Who is this person?
CT, while Finn is flicking through these papers, you see the spirit stood in the doorway, reaching desperately to try and touch them.
Okay. Just can we take a moment? Because I know you can't see him at the moment, but this guy's being...
Does it look like the man in the door?
No, but...
And it's not his, we're not giving it.
Dude. Bob.
What? Do I see the man in the door?
Leave me to do the... This is not your... These aren't your papers. Look, this isn't you.
CT, do you hold the passport towards him?
Yeah.
He reaches out a single finger and touches at where the name is on the passport.
Oh, okay.
He brings the finger back to himself and nods.
That is you.
He then points again at the picture.
Okay.
And points at himself and shakes his head.
Wait a minute.
You okay?
Wait a minute.
So it's his name.
What is it?
When's the passport dated?
It says he moved here in 1989.
It's dated a little older than that. The man is sort of in his late 20s.
Shit. This is his identity. This is the identity of the spirit. But the vampire or the green glowy individual, whoever that happens to be, is taking the identity of this ghosty. What's your name?
Do you mind, CT?
No.
I'll take it and I'll see if I can peel if there's another photo behind that photo.
Okay.
There's a lot of people who fake passports, so see if I can peel that.
It will be a dexterity and craft roll.
All right.
Can I assist with my dexterity?
Not with an attribute. You can assist with a skill. I would suggest that maybe this might be a job for M.
I was going to say craft and design, for sure.
All right. I'm like trying to get at it, but anybody else have small fingers that can...
I have longer fingernails, yeah. Let me just get under that.
See if there's a photo.
That's cool. We should have a look at the rest of this room. Bing.
Do
Just in
you
case.
remember the green-eyed thing? Does it look like this picture?
Let's check in with M and her attempt on this passport first. You can see frayed edges around the side of the passport. It's clear that there's sort of a second layer of plastic, but it would take some digging at. You'd probably be able to do it with some time, possibly not right now.
Okay.
Certainly not without damaging the surface of the photograph.
Okay. It looks like there's something under the initial photograph, the photograph on the top, but I think that we should just leave it for now.
Well, what was the name again? Sorry. I'm going to look at the thing. What was it?
Jeremy Reza.
Jeremy, buddy. Hey, look. We're gonna have to. Are we okay to keep this until we can get it back to you? Can you come with us? We got people.
He steps alongside you and points at another doorway.
Another doorway. Oh, and I just go straight over there to the doorway.
I'm gonna pocket my key.
Pardon. Bing.
As you push open the door, CT, you see a small functional office. There's a grey plastic table that's chipping around the edges, and there is on the surface, you can see from the doorway, a manila folder and a single coin.
What currency?
Are you going in to look?
Yeah.
The coin is curious. in that it's not currency, but it does have stamped onto its surface 7 crows.
Is Em seeing this?
If Em's followed him in, you could absolutely be looking over his shoulder, yes.
Why did you just run over?
Do you...
I told the guy
CT
to look out for the kid, and he pointed to this room, so I thought it was this room that
Okay.
Joshua was in. Just
The seven crows that are stamped on this coin look like the 7 crows that were in the painting that we found in Cersei's office. Or
They
was
do.
it not? Is
Yes.
the painting of my death?
is
New
there
York?
a
Ringing a bell? Anybody? Just,
is there a
is this
date
not
printed?
freaking anybody out?
Look,
No.
I mean, I didn't realize that it was the same thing. Can I see what else is on the back of the coin, or maybe?
Only 7 crows.
Bing
there's
Bing's
a-
gonna go into the room everybody left and examine the blackboard.
Okay. CT, you were going to do something with what was on the table.
Yeah, well, we got this coin, we got this folder manila.
Kind of thick brown paper.
Okay. I'll open it.
As you lift it off the table, you reveal a second iron key. And inside the folder is a shipping manifest and a death registry contract for a Peter Malau, British-born man of Indonesian descent. He died in the UK, but no cause of death is listed on the death certificate. It appears he was shipped back to Indonesia about 1.5 years ago by Nixon's and Sons mortuary, where this documentation loses track of him.
The name again?
Nixon and Sons.
Oh no, that's the man's name.
The man's name, Peter Malau.
Is that not Bing Bing? Is that not your...
Bing Bing's in the other room examining the blackboard.
Bing Bing! Bing Bing!
Bing, the blackboard in the other room offers nothing save for the welcome in cursive writing. It's not handwriting that you recognize.
Bing Bing walks out to the hallway. What?
Do you recognize Nixon and Sons mortuary? Do you recognize the name?
That's my mortuary.
What about the name Peter Malau?
I think I cremated him once, didn't I?
No, you sent him back to
It
Indonesia.
was shipped. Yeah.
Oh, I did.
According to this
Why?
shipping manifest.
Why did I ship
Why
him
did you-
back?
I don't know.
We're not
Well, you
sure.
lost track of him.
There's a lot of dead bodies.
Do you keep track of all of them? Can we go back to your mortuary, I guess, your morgue, and
I keep perfect records.
Hold on.
Perfect.
Wait, what is the importance of this Peter Malau anyway? It just, I've never even seen so many Indonesians around here.
Well, we have an Indonesian who's missing a name and a ghost who's missing their identity. So theoretically, the face on the passport might be the person who's missing their identity.
Can I just take a moment? Because we have a bigger issue. The bigger
Yes.
issue is the fact that we were led here by someone very close to me. And now we're here, and there are things that are directly relevant to each of us.
was this a trap? Was this a setup?
I think this is a game. But not only a game specifically designed around us. And
CT, do you think this has anything to do with the missing professor? What do we have to do with all of this?
I can't see any other reason. I mean, what do we know? What do we know? We've got the professor who was in with Romy and Dee and Saoirse. Saoirse was a Tremere who worked with the gargoyles and got rid of all of that, has been diablerized, had some situations going on and might be bringing back the gargoyles, was interested in death
That's
and
it,
tying
missing.
souls to stuff, and then suddenly the domain scenario happened, the professor disappears, and we're all dragged here. Like,
So what's the point of all that? for us not to get the domain, for us to show that we can keep the domain because we know what we're doing?
I
Maybe
think
it's
it's
a
bigger than that.
test.
It's got to
No?
be bigger than that. There's got to be something that happened with the old Coterie. Something that happened in the old days when the professor and Romy and everyone was young, and something they did, and we have inherited their state, their whole
Romy's-
situation.
You think Romy's keeping something from us?
I think they're all keeping something from us. We're bloody vampires. That's all we ever do is lie.
I mean, Romy has been kind of all up in our business for the past few nights.
Look, let's park that for a side. I just wanted people to think about it. Do you remember
Yes.
4 plant pots downstairs?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was in them? What was in them again?
Was there dirt? Was there? I don't know. I thought there may be maybe keys hidden in them or something. So I was paying attention to them. There's 4 of them. There's 4 of us. I don't know. Am I reading too much into this?
Can I have a look out the window and just have a look at them?
Yeah, you can take a look outside the window. They seem to be completely empty. No dirt, just empty pots lined up on the patio.
Do they look like urns?
No.
Good.
Well, you've got a key. I've got one now.
And we have
The
that door
cellar
downstairs.
door downstairs has
Still.
2 locks, so...
True.
And a funky
Also,
smell coming out of it.
That new key, does that remind you of the ones in Saoirse's office?
Does it look similar?
The one with the crown on it, was it not?
Does it have a stamp on it?
It isn't stamped.
Just an idea I had.
Yeah. You want to try it on that door downstairs?
Tell you what, you go down and try the door downstairs. I'm gonna stay in this room and have a look to see if there's anything else, because that ghosty had an idea in here, and I just want to have a snoop around, you know?
Aren't there 2 other doors up here?
There is 1 other door off the hallway that you haven't looked through. Two other doors that you haven't looked through yet. 2.
We just have the 2 doors downstairs as well. Okay. We'll go back down. I mean, I wish I could tell you. I wish you could tell me what the ghost is saying so I could translate for you, but
the ghost is
I
not
can't see
saying
the ghost.
anything. He's
Okay,
just,
well, there you
just
go.
pointing and kicking wards.
So, Em and Finn, you are
So I have to
headed
head
downstairs. And CT and Bing Bing, you are trying one of the other doors. So, back out on the hallway, both the doors that you haven't been through yet are ahead of you. There's one dead ahead and one slightly to your right. Which one are you taking?
You take one, I'll take the other.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I don't know about letting the children go downstairs alone, CT.
It's a good point. They try and copulate on the back of a bike. They might just get some naughty ideas in being in a haunted house. Dear Lord.
Especially
as you push open the door, you see a bathroom. The floor is polished to a high shine and light bounces from it and off the maintained mirrors and glistening steel taps. It's surprisingly clean given the state of the rest of the house. The only offending visual in this room is the bath, which is covered in small fractures stemming out from a large football-sized hole in the side, sending a sort of pattern like a spider web across the surface of the porcelain. Bing Bing, you push open the door of a bedroom. It seems to have been gutted. A double bed frame sits in the center of the room, soft furnishings stripped, a bare skeleton, barely any cover at all for the rat, which seems to have made its home in one corner. On the north and south sides of the room, there are 2 matching bureaus sitting open, revealing small, convenient shelves. It seems a shame almost that the occupant has chosen to use these as stands for 2 identical models, encased in glass and proudly polished. The models are both of a Greek trireme, with small metal elements around the bow and the stern. 100 matchstick oars and a small cloth sail offer little insight into their purpose, but you can see a small bronze plaque at the base of each. And if you approach, you see engraved, "Replace all you like but leave me my soul.
I don't walk into the room, but I look over at CT. Why is it young vampires are so needy?
They haven't gained your charm yet.
There are statuettes in this room, but there's a rat and I don't want to walk in.
Okay, well, there's a polished bathroom in here apart from a big cracked bath. Do you want to swap rooms?
Sure.
All right.
CT,
Ethan
you
goes
go
in.
into the room.
Very
Yeah.
clean.
Bing Bing, as you walk into the bathroom, you perhaps are a little unpleasantly surprised to see that after this first couple of steps into a clean room, you see a mountainous landscape of spiders in the corner of the bathtub. The rest of the room, however, seems perfectly clean.
Why are all the spiders gathered together?
CT, you walk into the room to take a closer look at the models on the desk.
Yeah.
You recognize this. The professor used to talk at you at length about a number of theories, and one of his favorites was the Ship of Theseus. The thought experiment goes like this. If a piece of the ship must be replaced through damage or otherwise, over the years, how much can we truly say that the Ship of Theseus is still the Ship of Theseus? If every part is replaced, is it really the same thing?
That triggers
Replace
broom.
all you like, but leave me my soul.
Shit.
Let's check back in with Finn and Em downstairs. So you two make your way to the door of the understairs cupboard, correct?
Yes.
And sure enough, you are able to slide both keys into both locks, and they turn with a satisfying click. As you push open the door, you see that the puddle at the bottom of the door is actually a trail that leads away from the door and down the staircase into the darkness immediately to the left. More alarmingly is a hook on the wall straight ahead of you, upon which hangs Saoirse's gold watch.
Do we know it's Saoirse's gold watch for sure? Do we recognize it?
It was a watch that she was fiddling with when you first spoke to her, checking the time and anxious. The glint of the clasp is very familiar.
So
That's not
Saoirse's
good.
been here? Or maybe...
Or whoever did whatever to Saoirse took the gold watch. I mean, they did
And
turn out all of her pockets, so
that's true. And they
Can
hung
I-
it here in the cellar? And
can I sense can I see look around and see if there's anybody else in there?
It's a stairwell, so it's kind of very narrow and very
Just
dark.
this way
and
and
goes
to turn?
straight down to the left, yeah.
Shall we into the spider's web?
can I take the
I'll-
watch? Can I
Yeah.
I slip it into my clutch?
All right. I'll start
And you-
down
Okay,
and see if there's a string somewhere to turn on the light.
okay.
Oh wait, I can see in the dark. What am I doing, right? Sort of.
You don't want Em to trip, so you're being very careful.
Heading down the stairs, you enter a long, unlit corridor. The dark green wallpaper above has been replaced down here with painted concrete in a dull but similar green, but it's now patchy and faded. It's clear from the length of the place that it stretches beyond the property and further down the street. The doors down here vary. You see
like
immediately that there are 4 doors off the left, 3 doors off the right, and another straight ahead. And the trail of liquid leads down the hallway straight to the door at the end.
Let's go check it out.
I think we should wait for the other two. Don't you think? This is well beyond where we're supposed to be. You know what? Let's check the doors that are to the sides before we go to the end.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yes.
Before we get the rest of the team. We'll open the door on the first left.
Okay.
Okay.
The room directly in front of you as you've come down the stairs has its metal door slightly ajar, and going through you see a very strange space. There's a rail hammered into the ceiling, and falling from a multitude of hooks are a vast number of white satin ribbons. Some sheets, tumbling to the floor and completely still. It's a forest of white fabric that blocks your vision and dampens sound.
Can I pull them aside?
You can. They sort of almost whisper as you brush them aside, the sound of satin colliding against satin.
Really
And
don't
on the
like
back
that feel.
wall, there sits an empty, locked glass case with 2 hooks. The sort where a fire axe used to hang.
Okay, bear with
aside from
us,
that,
people.
we
There
see
are some
nothing else?
technical issues.
So,
Then I think we should just... I really want to go to that room at the end of the hall. Can we just do that, please?
Let's get the others here.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Let me
Let's
go
get
get
the
them.
others. Okay.
Don't go in there without me. And I run up the stairs and
I'm
call
not going
to
anywhere.
CT and Bing Bing.
okay.
Chuck, Bing, I think we
Yeah.
found something. You're gonna want to see this. And
Okay,
that
yeah, we're
same
coming
rush
down.
that you guys felt, same thing.
Okay. So, CT, Bing Bing, as you join Finn and Em in the downstairs hallway, you notice, as they do, this big line of closed doors and a small trail of liquid leading along the floor to a doorway at the end of the hall.
Also, as I'm walking, I'd like to kind of just step on the liquid to kind of like disperse some of it, so that way someone can't just like light the back and the fire goes through the trail.
Okay.
That's smart.
To make sure that it doesn't like reach each other.
Thanks,
Okay.
Finn. And CT, you're not smoking right now. Can you just...
No.
We're good.
Put mine out
Saw that.
upstairs. It's all right.
Please, the fire.
Does the corridor look anything like the painting that was upstairs with the man walking through the fire? Am I recognizing anything given how well I inspected the painting?
It's difficult to tell because the primary factor in the painting was the fire, and obviously there is no fire down here. There were no discernible sort of room features about the painting, so it's hard to say.
Okay. I think we should just go through.
Walk to the door and pull or push. I never know
Okay.
with these things.
Cool. Just be expecting cryptic clues, all right? I found some stuff upstairs to do with Theseus. Theseus obviously got killed by the Minotaur. The Minotaur was the professor's favorite hobby, so all that stuff about the professor. Yeah, this is well up there.
Okay.
Hey,
As you push open the door, Finn, you're confronted with a large laundry room. It's the biggest space you've been in this house yet, and it is heavily occupied. Standing at the entrance, you can see several washing lines strung across the space, casting strange shadows from an uncovered bulb that is flickering from a wire in the center of the room. You find piles of clothes in various sizes and genders are laid out all over the room. The back wall is covered in washing machines, all their lights blinking idly little green zeros into the space and irritatingly out of sync. The clothes all
Is
appear
this
to
like
be
a
dry.
laundromat?
Yes.
And at the back, laid across a stack of undone laundry, like a discarded pair of jeans, you see a body.
I don't
think we
even care,
found
we'll go
what
straight
we're
to
looking
it.
for.
As you go over, CT, you see the familiar face of Joshua.
Shit.
His mouth has been taped up, as has his wrists. He's very pale. He has no shoes on. And you're not sure if he's breathing.
Joshua, you people know how to do breaths and shit like that. Could you give me a hand here? Fuck, right, getting the tape off.
Yeah, I'll
Just
go and
start,
help him.
Like,
rip the
slapping
tape
him,
off.
just feeling for it, like putting my hair above his mouth to see if there's any, like, hint of breath.
Okay. Are all of you entering the room?
Bing Bing's
Yes.
gonna go to the side and check for a pulse.
Okay.
Go on, Joshua, come on.
Bing Bing, you have some medical skill, don't you?
I do.
Okay. You, when you feel at his wrist, you feel a very, very weak and fluttering pulse. But
Can
it
I
is
tell
there.
what's wrong with him?
At a glance, no. But when CT, you pulled the tape back, didn't you?
Yeah.
You see Bing Bing, the very small trace of blood at the corner of his mouth. And as you all four stand over and sort of fuss with this boy to try and figure out what's happened, you hear two soft footsteps behind you in the doorway. And the voice says, "I'm glad you could join me, but you cannot escape. I need all of you please to give me a wits and resolve roll." Okay. Bing Bing rolled 1 success, M rolled 5, Finn rolled 4, and CT rolls 2. You turn to look, and you see the figure stood in the doorway, very lightly illuminated by the bulb, is smiling. He tilts his head to you and gestures for you to come with him, stepping back and closing the door.
Did everybody just see that? Am I supposed to follow this guy? Why me? What's going on?
Don't fucking follow him.
I want to grab her hand so that even if she does have the compulsion to, maybe it's brought out of it.
CT, Finn, Bing Bing, the strangest thing is happening to you. Finn, as you reach out to try and take M's arm, it's as if the room stretches to prevent you. The floor warps and twists, making the distance impossible, and CT, as you turn to try and look at the door, it's almost as if the door moves ahead of your eyes. Bing Bing, the wall that you've been trying to stick to seems to push away from you.
What is this dimensional bullshit?
Don't move.
Am I having a trip right now?
No. It's a
What? M?
Yep.
Why can't I?
Don't move.
Finn, it'll be okay. It'll be okay, I'm right
What the
here.
fuck is going on? I've had some trips, but this is trippy. I feel sober.
Can I recognize what this is? Or experience, or what have you?
This is not like anything you've ever experienced before, Bing Bing.
Can I?
No.
Bing Bing doesn't know what it is, then.
Am I still stood next to Joshua?
You are.
And I know that he's...
The voice repeats itself insistently.
Through the closed door? Because did he close the door behind
He
him?
pushed it too, yes. He says, I know how this looks, but I do just need to talk.
Anything that you can say to me, you can say around everybody here. I don't know who you are. I'm not going with you.
You hear a soft chuckle from behind the door. You're sensible. I heard some things about this group, but I didn't hear sensible. Okay. We can talk. In that room. But you're going to stay close. Okay?
Doesn't say anything.
The door opens slowly. And with a slight swagger, the scrawny man re-enters. And tucking one hand into his pocket, he leans against the door frame and spends a moment looking over all of your friends, stumbling as they are, trying to catch their surroundings. And then he looks back at you.
Can I use uncanny grip to, root myself so I'm not fumbling anymore? Because I've seen this figure kind of wavily walking towards us.
You can certainly try and use uncanny grip to keep a grip of where you are, yes. I don't need you to roll for that. You can just, it's like rooting yourself to the spot.
Right.
He doesn't move from the doorway. And he says, I really don't want this to be taken personally. See, I'm afraid you guys have just kind of become obstacles, and I'm not really keen on unnecessary bloodshed. It's, M, right?
Depends who's asking.
What would you like me to call you?
What can I call you?
You can call me Liam.
Liam?
Liam.
That does sound personal. What do you mean, bloodshed? We're obstacles? Desperately looks around the room at the others.
And we hear him?
They don't even seem to be aware of what's going on.
Stay.
Look, you seem reasonable, and I understand your concern, but if I really wanted to hurt your friends or you, I would have already done it. So if you wouldn't mind, could we just step to the side and have a chat about what's happening here?
I will step outside. I don't think the others really know what's going on. They're sort of trying to hold themselves up. I just walk forward.
He smiles as you approach with a kind of, like he's glad you've taken his offer. And he steps sort of a little back way and leans against a wall nearby again and waits for you to close the door behind you from the laundry.
I do. I close it behind me.
Okay. Look, you seem great. You've got common sense. I imagine your looks help you out a lot. You're a stellar piece of the puzzle here. I get it. But I have a job I need to do, and a friend that I need to help. So what's going to happen now is we're going to work out how best we can both make that happen without any unnecessary mess. Okay?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, of course you don't. See, that's the thing about working with the Camarilla, isn't it? They don't really tell you anything. Did they sit down with you like this? Have a chat? Figure out how you could help each other? Or did they just throw you into a situation that you had no idea how to handle and just hope that you'd come out a winner?
Okay. Your point?
My point is, they don't really care about you. And that's something you and I have in common. And not just you and I. You see, this goes back decades.
I don't understand. Do I know you?
No.
How do you know me?
I'm careful. I plan. And I wait. You see, the domain that you're stepping into it's been managed over the years by some people that I have some problems with. The court, they're a fan of trials, aren't they? They like to throw you a test, see how you do. Well, you see, a little while ago to me, probably a little way before you were born for you, although I don't mean to be rude, I don't know your age. I lost someone dear to me because of the tests the court threw at other people. You see...
Is that what this whole thing is? You're saying this thing is a test? Wow.
This whole thing is the culmination of a test that has been running for decades. Your precious professor and his coterie took someone from me that I want back. Years ago now. And so I need you to understand that what I need to do is not about you, but it is about you stepping out of the way.
I don't understand what I have to do with all of this.
Well, my understanding is that Romy's been keeping you all pretty close. Getting help, instruction, keeping an eye. And what I need you to do is not be close to her just at the right time. Leave her on her own and let me get done what I need to do.
What's in it for me?
What are they offering you?
What are you offering?
Would you like to leave?
Absolutely not. I don't know who you are. I'm not just gonna give you Romy. I don't...
No, you misunderstand me. You see, this was something that the professor was always really good at. He talked to me about it a lot. Whenever you go somewhere, have your exit plan. Have your red thread to follow home. Where's yours? Exactly?
My red thread? My home?
How do you intend to leave here if I won't let you?
You will let me. Have you seen the people I'm with?
The people stumbling around behind that door unable to find their way out? Yes, I've seen the people you're with. Now, I understand this is a lot to take on and a lot to consider. But I'm going to make this simple. I don't want to hurt people that haven't hurt me. I do want to plow through anything that gets in my way to vengeance. So, when you have your Elysium, I will be waiting. I'm going to remove the last members of the Professor's Coterie from this existence.
What?
And in doing so, I fulfill my promise to an old friend. Now,
What old friend? Why? I can't let you do this.
why not? With the court out of the way, you could have anything you wanted.
What I want is fairness and equality, and you don't sound like you possess any of those things.
Fairness and equality. Fairness and equality. See, you're here doing the sheriff's work, and she's where?
Overseeing?
Having another of her very important meetings that she never tells you about. Speaking with somebody else in the shadows about some other thing that she needs that you'll never have access to. Yeah, I know, Romy.
Is Em supposed to go along with this?
You're new. And I understand what it is to be new and taken in by the wings of the ivory tower, promising structure and order and domain. But I need you to take a moment just to think about what they built that tower on. These things don't spring out of nowhere. And people find themselves crushed under the foundations of these kind of buildings if they aren't tall enough to reach high enough. It's a pyramid. And where exactly do you think you fit? As a baby kindred with no domain and a cluster of friends still trying to prove their worth, versus outside of the court, where you could be whatever you wanted. I don't expect you to make a decision now, sweetheart. You take your time and you think. But I want to make one thing completely clear. Saoirse was hundreds of years old. She took seconds to die.
You killed Saoirse? Answer me.
She taught me a lot about ritual. It's amazing what courses through your veins when you actually taste somebody. Tell me, do you have anything that you could teach me? Or do you think maybe it's time to go?
What do you want from me?
I want
I'm gonna
you to
go
stay
back.
out of the way. I'm going to leave, and you're going to take your friends, and you're going to go home. And you're going to stay out of the way.
I'm gonna tell my friends about what just happened and everything that you told me and that you killed Saoirse.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have one suggestion. That sounds like a great idea. You should tell them. You should tell them what happened and what I'm going to do and why it's a good idea for you to stay out of the way. And you should tell them that yes, I did kill Saoirse. And maybe you should cut your losses at one dead friend. They can leave, of course. But you'll have to break things. I did leave you a trail, if you want to use that. It's been nice chatting, Em. I would like to talk as friends next time.
I
So think about what I said.
sincerely doubt it, Liam.
We'll see. We'll see. And smiling, he begins to back down the corridor. Think about what I said. We could be friends. You just have to make the right choice.
Emma's absolutely mortified.
Let's
She
get
walks
back in
back.
with let's go back into
the room.
You see CT, Finn, and Bing Bing still sort of fumbling and struggling a little, but not losing their balance. It's almost as if they really just can't tell which way they're supposed to go. I need each of you, please, to make me a wits and composure roll. Em, you don't need to.
Okay.
Okay. Bing Bing has 1 success. Finn has 3. And CT has 2. Finn, CT, you focus hard and staring at an object nearby, you manage to almost force your way through the shackles of whatever it is that is holding on you. And it's almost as if this kind of twisting pressure at the sides of your skull begins to lift and move away. The room remains stationary, and you see Em walk back into the room and close the door behind her. Bing Bing, however, still can't quite tell which way is up.
Bing Bing is just standing there, unmoving.
Can I'm going to be, having been cradling Joshua, I'm going to go over to Bing Bing and try and sort of help her focus.
Okay. You're still holding Joshua?
Yeah.
As you cross over to Bing Bing, Joshua's form sort of almost becomes heavier. It gathers some weight, and he becomes almost limp in your arms.
Shit.
Looking up at you, his eyes sort of seem to be going in and out of focus. It's not like he can see you, and then you see one rattling breath and then silence.
I immediately gouge out a slice of my own wrist and press my wrist to his throat, to his mouth, and start massaging his throat.
I kind of grab. Are you sure? Is this what you want to do?
Yeah, no, at this moment in time, the only thing that's going to fix him is my blood.
Think CT.
Oh, I know I'm going to get in trouble, but like this is, you don't understand. This is very important.
CT, as you sort of frantically, try and massage Joshua's throat, he's unresponsive for some time. And then after a painful, what feels like hours to you, he takes one choking gulp and his eyes snap open.
There we go. Hey.
That's where we will finish today's session.
Oh, you.
Oh.